Hello, I'm Lee Shaching from Sally Talks Books. It's April, and we finally welcomed spring. As the saying goes, spring isn't the time for reading. March with its blooming flowers is perfect for gathering friends and going out, even just lying on the grass. Sunbathing feels super comfy. Plus, scientific research shows that moderate sun exposure can boost your mood and even sharpen your memory. So today, we've got a spring book list ready for you. Grab Sally Talks books and head out. Our first stop is Shakespeare and Company Bookstore by the Seine River in Paris. This bookstore opened in 1919, facing Notre Dame Cathedral across the river, and it's a cultural icon in Paris. Many young art lovers make a pilgrimage here when they first hit Paris. What makes this place so special? Well, it drew tons of big names in literary history, like Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Pound, Eliot, and Shaw. They all hung out at Shakespeare and Company. Irish writer Joyce even published his masterpiece, Ulysses, with help from the bookstore owner, Sylvia Beach. When American writer Hemingway first arrived in Paris, he was broke, and Beach helped him find a cheap apartment. Hemingway couldn't afford books, so Beach lent him to him and even waived the deposit. Later, Beach wrote about all this in her book titled Shakespeare and Company. For Beach, Shakespeare and Company was an ideal lifestyle, a hub of pure passion born from books. On Tuesday, we'll follow Dutch painter Vermeer's footsteps to trace 17th century global trade. Vermeer is a household name in the West. His most famous piece, which you might have seen, is Girl with a Pearl Earring. The book we're covering Tuesday is called Vermeer's Hat. The author is Timothy Brooke, a famous Canadian global historian. So what's the link between global trade and a painter? Well, Vermeer lived in a port city, and his paintings spill tons of details on global trade. And author Timothy Brooke uses Vermeer's art as a lens, guiding us through Vermeer's windows to explore the rise of the Dutch East India Company. Through Vermeer's paintings, we can see how Europeans and Chinese viewed the outside world so differently. And what's the connection between hats on Dutch ladies' heads and Canada thousands of miles away? All right, back from our trip to 17th century Holland, and next stop, Japan. Check out this book called My Profession is Novelist by the famous author Haruki Murakami. It's one of his essay collections. Imagine if you ran into a young Murakami on the streets of Japan. What would you be like? Murakami himself wrote that he was hopelessly naive, deeply obsessed with music and literature, lost in his inner world, living a totally ordinary life. How did such an ordinary young man become a great writer? And what advice does Murakami give to those who want to become novelists? On Wednesday, we'll dive into Haruki Murakami's 30-year journey as a novelist, both tough and extraordinary. And on Thursday, we'll explore the peculiar life of a Soviet zoologist. This zoologist, Alexander Lubitschev, lived a peculiar life because he meticulously recorded all his time and created a unique time management method. Thanks to this method, Lubitschev achieved impressive feats in many fields. For instance, he wasn't just accomplished in his main field of zoology, he also had deep knowledge and contributions in entomology, botany, philosophy, theology, and more. Plus, he was fluent in 5 languages: Russian, German, English, French, and Italian. On top of that, his family life wasn't neglected at all, though a person's energy has limits. So, on Thursday, we'll listen to the life of Lubitschev. Spring is short, don't waste it. Then on Friday, we'll chat about friendship, a genuine one, its value arguably on par with love. But do you really get friendship? Lots of folks think friendship doesn't need effort. Friends just come and go if they click or not. But this can easily cause once close pals to drift apart. Some people, feeling lonely, just blindly make friends. Yet, even with tons of friends, that inner loneliness sticks around. The book launching Friday is called Intimacy, and it'll break it down for you. What are common misunderstandings about friendship and what elements build an ideal one? Oh, and by the way, Sally Talks Books covered a similar book before called Intimate Relationships. It primarily analyzes relationship issues people face at different stages of romantic development from a couple's perspective. If you're interested, click the link in the transcript below. The audio to go directly to intimate relationships. Finally, on Saturday, we focus on humanity's good friend, dogs. Whether you have a dog or not, the domestic dog, launching Saturday, will give you a fresh perspective. The author of Man Meets Dog is Nobel laureate Konrad Lorenz, a renowned Austrian zoologist, also called the Einstein of the animal psyche. In this book, starting from dogs' origins, he answers many curious questions we all have. For example, we often talk about loyal dogs. Where does their loyalty come from? Is it true that, like owner, like dog? If you're thinking of getting a dog, what kind would suit you? If that's not enough, we previously covered another dog related book, The Dog's Mind, teaching how to raise good dogs without punishment. Similarly, you can click the link in the transcript below the audio to access this book. All right, that's all for this week's Editor's Picks. Next Sunday, we'll bring you a Game of Thrones themed recommendation. Don't miss it. See you next week.